Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, OG, of course. You know why we're here. Ahsoka, episode 6, Far, Far Away. All the spoilers, all the time. Now, when we talk about this, we did not. And I just want to know what were your overall impressions before I start to talk. That's a picture of Thrawn for the
Mithra,
podcast people.
Myth, Mithra Nordo. That's my listen. I'm so happy we finally saw my guy Thrawn, yo. We finally saw him, and it was a great thing to see him. Lars, fantastic job, basically, bringing Thrawn to life because he was the voice of Thrawn during Rebels. Um, it seems as if by the way, I did love the episode. I liked the episode. I loved it. Some things I didn't like about the episode, but not a whole lot. I'm just waiting to see exactly like what is going to be the big payoff, if that makes sense.
Oh
Because
yeah.
there was there's a lot going there. If you didn't really pay attention to this episode and you just got caught up in, let's just say, the fan service of Ezra coming back, of Thrawn being introduced, going to the the home world of the Night Sisters. If you just got caught up in that and didn't really listen to some dialogue that was going on in this episode, you really missed out on some things that may play into bigger picture stuff that's going on. If you know what I mean,
Oh yeah,
Rashad.
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. All
What
right. So
about
this
you?
so my overall impression when I saw it last night was okay, this is essentially the start of a 3 episode arc.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like it really like last night, like I was really like, oh my God, yo. Because I feel like we just start from scratch again. Like even though like there's
Yeah.
this, we already have the whole story. It really felt like this is the beginning. Again, very Filoni-esque, very
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars like. We have a three,
Mm-hmm.
and like I predicted too. I said the first 2 episodes was a setup. Three
Mm-hmm.
through five was a 3 story arc.
Yep.
60 Ways is going to be a 3 story arc. So that's how I felt initially. I watched it again and I settled into knowing what it was. I'm like, okay, like I saw what it was doing, and I'm really again. I mean, you really said it. Like I'm hoping for the payoff. I'm gonna talk about the episode in like 2 minutes, okay? Because the bigger questions is the story for me, not the episode itself. All right, so goes go to Peridia, and of course that's the Night Sisters home planet. And okay,
That is wild.
the visuals for this, like, and that's another thing that pissed me off because this whole series to me has been a flex of what Star Wars and Lucasfilm is doing. I mean, visually, like there are no complaints from me. They are killing the visuals. Everything on screen looks amazing. Even the
My
stuff that
man.
I obviously know is in the volume,
Uh-huh.
like they almost mastered the volume. You know what I'm saying? It
My
looks
man.
great.
The Purgle in the super hyperspace off the top
Mm-hmm.
looks crazy as hell. Like it was just super crazy how the Purgle with not Sabine, but Ahsoka and Uyang in their ship inside the lead Purgle's mouth, going through their super Purgle hyperspace to the next galaxy looks ridiculously crazy. And I mean that in a great way. And
Yeah,
then too,
it almost reminded me of how Doctor Strange went through his little hippie mind trip a little
yeah,
bit. It
yeah,
was like that I'm getting like visually is really good. But this is okay.
yeah.
This is the story of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we find the Night Sisters, which they've been calling out to Morgan Elsbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thrawn and the Night Sisters have this alliance,
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn has an army for some reason of okay
I don't know.
of Kintsugi laden ship, also Kintsugi warriors. Kintsugi is basically the giant the Japanese method of fixing pottery, where if it's broken,
Mm-hmm.
they'll take gold and fuse the pottery back together to make this, this form of art, similar to how Colin Ren's mask was rebuilt. And
Man, hold on. That Jane looked like duct tape to me. I just some of
no,
them,
no, no, no. I'm talking
some of
about
the,
like the gold. Like some people had like gold
oh,
in
you talking
their,
about,
yeah, like
oh,
inlaid
you
in
talking
their
about
actual
his Enoch.
that
You talking
duct
about Enoch?
tape. No, but even some of the troopers, like some of their armor had like gold
Uh-huh.
and inlaid in it. Even the ship
Okay.
itself had gold pieces inlaid in the bottom of the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, they was using
And
that whole like Kintsugi method again, which I appreciate.
yeah.
What else? So yeah, there's an army that doesn't look real or alive to me. There's we find okay, so this planet has
You
their this. I'm just gonna rush through this, like because I want
okay.
to get to the point. This planet has their
Uh-huh.
own set of Tusken Raiders. Also have their own little weird creatures. Sabine figures out how to use a lightsaber just a little bit this episode. She finds Ezra. Ezra's in his thirst trap era. You know what I'm saying? He fully bearded out. And
Yo, shout out to the actor playing him because he sounds just like
oh
the
yeah,
animated voice.
they did a
I was like,
real
I
everybody's
say,
doing a
yo, he
real good
sounds just
job.
like, yeah.
Everybody's doing a good job of being the animated actors. Let me just finish this before you even start, because we got stuff to talk about. So,
Okay.
Fine Ezra, they have a back and forth, awesome reunion. You know what I'm saying? Um, we flip back to Thrawn. Thrawn's like, oh yeah, by the way, Shin Hati and Baylon Skull is trying to find them to kill them to then go back to the ship. It's gonna take for some reason the ticking clock this time is they're putting what I don't even know what these things are from the catacombs to the ship. So for some reason, oh yeah, we get to that. All right. So that's the ticking clock. And they're loading up the Chimera is back. You know what I'm saying? Load up the Chimera, and they're trying to go back, of course, to the known galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And Thrawn doesn't care if anyone get back. His whole focus is on I need to get back.
Get, give me the
I
hell
need to
off
get
this.
back
Give
home.
me the
Like
hell off
get
this planet.
yes, get me the hell out this galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh huh.
so that's the whole thing. All right. Questions. Okay. Thrawn. How did Thrawn how did Thrawn get up with the Night Sisters one? And how did he convince them, say, hey, I have a way to get us back? Like that whole portion of it to me is like, I don't even understand. Like they're gonna like I hope they have a great way to explain that, because the Night Sisters also must be versed in hyperspace travel, because who was giving them like hey, you're gonna need like seven hyperspace drives, make it a big ring, you know what I'm saying? The whole not like who was giving
So,
them the schematics for that?
so here's my theories with that, and it starts back in the beginning of the episode. The beginning episode, Huyang and Ahsoka are in the Purgill mouth, and they're just traveling, just waiting, just hey. So and Huyang's hilarious. He was like, traveling in the mouth of a space whale to go into another galaxy. I think I've done everything. He's like, I think I've done everything now, or whatever. And and he's talking to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's just like, what Ahsoka was like, yeah, it's kind of like the stories, the ancient Jedi stories that you told us, and he was like, and she was like, and he was like, oh yes, the ancient Jedi stories, part 1, 2, and 3, and she always is like, part 1 was my favorite, and I think those are. I equate that to stories even in our real life that may have some truth to them, but over millennia and time, it's become more of a myth
Like
than
folklore.
folklore than anything like that. And she told a little thing, and then she was like, "That was my favorite." And you cut from them when, because he had asked her, "Hey, do you want me to tell you a story? I still got it in my database." And she's like, "No, I'm cool." But then she ends it with, "Yeah, go ahead, tell me." And I just love he opens it like the Star Wars, traditional Star Wars movies. Well, in a galaxy far, long time ago, in a
Long, long
galaxy
ago.
far, far, far away, and then it opened. So you got that,
Hey, hold on real
and
quick,
then
Tony.
mhm,
So as you were talking, I had a thought. So
mhm.
was that their way of low key sneaking in like a reference to the like Dawn of the Jedi movie that they wanted to do?
I think so because
Okay.
and that's why I was getting that too.
Oh, my bad.
I was kind of getting to that too with the Dawn of the Jedi movie, where even in the previous episodes they talked about how saying that there are Jedi texts that were saying that the Jedi we're doing this back in the day like it was nothing, like it was going to different galaxies, and that even in I don't know if it's been canon or not, like millions of years ago, the most dominant species were the Rakatans. And the Rakatans were vicious, they were smart, they created the Star Forge, and they created all these hyperspace and stuff. So I wonder if that is eventually going to come up, in this. As far as Thrawn knowing, we got to remember Thrawn comes from the Chiss, planet Chiss, and the Chiss Ascendancy. And that is what they called in what they called in the Star Wars universe, that planet is in wild space. Wild space is completely different from the unknown regions. It's like, hey, we know some stuff out there, but we just haven't been out that way. Wild space is like, we have no idea what that is out there. I think they may have had some kind of wild space kind of knows about the different galaxy, saying the different galaxy that there is there for it. And then like you said with the Night Sister situation, I think that kind of ties in with the Jedi, because what did one of those Night Mothers say when they saw Sabine? You saw how disgusted she was, Jeff. She
No,
said
no,
she said
no,
she reeks of Jedi.
Tony didn't even say she. She said it smells like
It
Jedi.
no, it
It
reeks. It
reeks of
listen,
Jedi.
yo, when you
And then she was like, it'll stay locked up. I was like,
yeah,
didn't even like the Night Sisters hate the Jedi so much they don't even refer to them as people. They refer to them as
as
it's.
a thing. Like, it reeks of. But you see her how balled up her face was like. It reeks of Jedi. Yo,
Yeah,
get her out of here, right?
that was the
Right,
Black
yo,
Night Sister
that
too.
yeah, right, and you got all that going on. So it's some beef. Like the Jedi has had beef with everybody over the
Yeah.
millennia. The Mandalorians, the Sith, apparently the Night Sisters, the Rakatans, and all this. And like I said, that's only if they bring the Rakatans into canon. I know they're legend.
But
I'm
I
not
mean, we might as well at this point, eventually.
right, right. And I mean, it was just crazy how that happened. And then, when so that's that. And then, like you said, the next question, where the hell did Thrawn get this army from? But I think we talked about it last episode when we was trying to figure out what's going to happen and stuff. It probably were some still stormtroopers still on the the Chimera when it jumped into that galaxy. And the thing is, when the Chimera first came up, I was like, I know that ain't what I think it is. And the
Uh-huh.
Chimera looked beat. It was flying, but it still looked beat to hell in
No,
certain
I told you,
certain
they was like patching it together. Everybody
yeah.
looked patched, looked dirty. Thrawn looked dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's been a
I
hard
told
road
you
to hoe
duck,
for them. You know,
listen, some of that look like red duct tape to hold the
yo,
uniforms
they just
together.
hey. You know what I'm saying? Come here.
Yeah, more tape. We got the tape guy, whatever. Wrap him up.
You know what I'm saying?
You got
Like,
the tape. Yo,
yo, man.
and then when you saw the gold for Enoch, his say his right hand man, I was like, wait a minute, did he say this dude name is Enoch? Biblical,
Yeah.
very biblical.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just, yeah, like I'm question. Did you, Rashad, at any point think Enoch was possibly Ezra?
No,
You didn't know. I,
I
it crossed
really,
my mind, but I said maybe not.
I really didn't. It's to me, it would have been way too. It'd have been corny if that happened.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like to me, like I really like when Thrawn was like, he may be dead. I was like, yes, kill him. But nah, I knew that. I knew Disney wasn't going to do that. But nah, but
And what more? Thrawn is such an excellent character. Period. Like I just love how Morgan Elsbeth came and he was like, and she was like Grand Admiral, and he was like Morgan, and like saw it spoke, and then they were like, what she said, she was like, yeah, so yeah, so then he saw like he was like, yo, who the hell are these people over here? He says, this is Baylon Skull. He's mercenaries, Baylon Skull, and his apprentice, Shin Hati. And he
Hati.
looked and he said, would you be General Baylon Skull? This man knew who he was, yo. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, you're General Baylon Skull. And then he was like, yeah, I once was a Jedi, but yeah, I don't rock with, say I don't rock that way. I also like how you learned a lot about him. You in just a little bit, you learned a lot about him and his ideology. Kind of reminds me of Dooku, how his ideology, how he became what I'm saying,
Sorry.
disconcerted with the oh wow. I thought you was about to clap for me. Cool. He became disconcerted with the with what I'm saying, with the Jedi ideology and what it happened. And so then I just love there was like, so then the Night Sister once again, hey, they bought somebody else too. Like they are really pissed off
Yo,
that Sabine,
and the funny thing was they literally called her a loose thread.
yeah,
And he was like,
right, a
oh,
loose,
well, let me see this loose thread.
right.
and
And
he
then
was,
and then she was like, yeah, Sabine Wren, and you saw he was just like, huh, it's
oh.
a name I haven't heard in a while. I was just like, yo, fraud, it's
Him
hilarious.
man so
He like,
Sabine, he said, it was so nice to
so
see
good to see
a
a
familiar
familiar
face.
face.
Like Thawne is just like he be playing everybody the entire time. Um,
Right.
okay, so yeah, that well, okay. The reunion between Sabine and Ezra, and this is not a this is a storytelling trope that I hate. And they're leaning very heavy into this with Sabine. Sabine is the person
Annoying.
who masters in half truths. She's not
Mm.
going to tell you the whole truth. And I understand why they're doing it, man, but it's making Sabine look like a jerk a lot. Like,
Annoying. Very, very. Listen, sorry for the Sabine fans or whatever. She was annoying to me in this episode. She was extremely, extremely. What did Thrawn even say to her? He was like, "Ah, your one-minded singularity is basically helped me out a whole lot. As for your friend, thanks a lot." So she go, if Thrawn knew and his. You would think, girl, you done dealt with this man. You dealt with this
you
man.
already know
You
what he
you
about.
you know he about. You think he just letting you go for nothing? What he told her, he was like, "Yo, we gonna honor Baylon Skull's thing. I'm gonna give you provisions. I'm gonna give you a ride. I'll give you our last intel on his last location. Go ahead and find him. Oh, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, when this ship leave, yeah, you're gonna be stranded here. So, yeah, holla at your boy. Go ahead, do what you got to do." And she was all like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, thanks, Thrawn. You've always looked out for me." Where did she leave? Deuces. And she waited and she left. As soon as she left, yeah, Baylon and y'all can go follow her, and if she do happen to find Ezra, go ahead and kill both of them. Go ahead and kill both of them or whatever. And it was funny because Shin Hati was like, "Master, I thought we was gonna keep." And then Thrawn said, "Oh, you're keeping your she's going to go find Sabine. See, she's going to find Ezra." So then when she finds him, y'all can kill him. I mean, it's
Yo,
I mean
like
he's
Shin,
keeping the promise.
they low key really like humanized Shin this episode. They
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, the MVP of this episode and this series so far has been Ray Stevens, RP. Like him today, he like I wish they wrote everybody like the way they're writing him. He said so
Mm-hmm.
little but said so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's like to me like he's the anchor of this series. I mean, he's a person that's actually his
She
performance
yeah.
is so good.
She straight up so Shin Hati was like, hey, what is this place? It did like, it says like you see how he was just like observing the planet and he was just like observing, taking it in and stuff. And she was like, first of all, Shin Hati is funny as hell too. For when they
Mm-hmm.
first get there and they see the knights, she said, witches. She's
More,
like,
she's like more witches.
more witches. She's like, more witches or whatever. Like listen, the witches must freak her out or something like more witches or whatever. And he's just like,
Hey, that
okay,
even
take
never
it
was
easy.
to me. It was like, yeah, we saw a Jedi. Spirit was like, I mean, I'm really not a Jedi. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He
You're
was
like,
like,
I'm not
you're more
really
of a Jedi than me.
right. So she's like, he's just taking in the planet, and then what he said, Rashawn, he was like, yeah, she was like, I've never seen a place or nothing like that. He was like, oh, I've heard about the tales of this place. So he knew,
Yeah,
like he was
yeah.
like, I heard about the tales of this place. He says, but it became more of like folklore than anything, and he was just like. He was just taking it in, and then she was like, "Well, yeah." He was like, "Yeah, you wouldn't know this." He says, I learned this when I grew up in the temple, so I do this." And he was like, "I was a little bit older than you, so probably right after he finished his Jedi trials, he was like, that's when Order 66 and everything, kind of kicked in." He says because everything burned after that, but she was just like, "Did you miss it? Do you miss the Jedi Order?" And he was just like, I miss what it was supposed to stand for.
Yeah, I miss the
Like
idea of it.
the idea of it and everything. And then he made a good point. He was just like, it's just a circle that keeps going on. He said, it's a circle. He says, it's always somebody trying to take over. He says, Jedi come along and you gotta, he said,
Yo,
Jedi
that
gotta
was
try
a
to clean
real
this
meta
up.
moment for
Yeah,
Star
right,
Wars.
right, right. He was like, he says, it's a circle that keeps going on. And he was like, I'm trying to break that circle. And she's just like, do you think you can break it here? And he's just like, possibly,
He
possibly.
said,
And then she was like, this thing too. Check this. When she was like, why are they in such a hurry to leave this planet? And he said, yeah, there's a greater power here, and it's been calling out to me as well. I want to know what the hell that is and what he knows that's
Tony,
there.
he referenced that as he said the beginning is here.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I'm like, hmm. And that leads us
Mm-hmm.
to my next question. What
Mm-hmm.
has been calling out to Baylon's skull? Because I mean, this is like that's just the again, they're talking about happening again and again. Something is calling out to oh my god, Ben Solo. You know what I'm saying? Something
Mm-hmm.
always is calling out to somebody. Like there's some force user that is greater, always calling out and trying to lure somebody there. You feel what I'm saying?
Are we possibly still going to get a chance to see the sun?
I don't know, yo. Like we
Because there are some theories that people think that even the Anakin stuff and everything was still kind of like maybe the sun as well. I don't want to believe that, but
yeah,
I,
like I don't know, or like, or I saw somebody say, matter of fact, Tommy Bechtel on New Rockstars, he was like, "Yo, could this be like the Bendu?" I'm like, I doubt it because
I
the Bendu he don't really be calling out to people like that. I
yeah.
mean, they like he really wasn't calling out to
Mm-hmm.
to
to
Kanan.
Baylon.
Kanan was just
Kanan could, yeah,
Kanan sensed something was there.
yeah.
I don't know. I really, I mean, because whatever it is, it has to be stupid powerful for Baylon
Yeah,
to sense that an entire galaxy away. You feel what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
whatever's there. We play this. Parody is heavy in the force. You got
Yeah.
space whales coming there. That's the way they go to die. It's like the Saturn's ring is just
Yeah.
whale bones.
Well, Bones. Yeah, yo, that was crazy. The fact that he knew that as well, because like I said, he knew the planet. Because he said, like, he says, oh yeah, this is where the space whales come to die. And I was like, yeah, how you know this, bro? Like, and then when he talked
I'm
about like,
just saying, man. He got like Baylon
yeah,
got too much information.
yeah,
Like what's really what is he tapping into? I'm just
I,
saying, man.
right,
Like,
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's to quote Transformers, more than meets the eye. Like
yo, like Valen
this,
got two. He just be coming up with these bars all the time. Like, how do you even know that? How do you know how this person feel? How did you even know that Ezra and Sabine and all of them like was a thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you like, sir, how do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
like they've been leaking because he's not in okay. He's really not in touch with the Night Sisters.
right
Elsbeth
at
is
all.
is is is
Mm-hmm.
like the mediary. Again, he's
Mm-hmm.
just a mercenary, so he's
Mm-hmm.
just doing hits. And
Mm-hmm.
for him to have all this information, it's like, come on, man.
And then to like willingly go through this whole thing too.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, he
like,
could have ignored it. You
like,
know what I'm saying?
like you never seen him this entire series question like anything
No,
about this. He
nothing.
hasn't questioned nothing. His Shin, she's questioned it or whatever. Of course, Ahsoka and them are like, ah, well, I don't know about another galaxy and all this. He's the only one that's been like, yeah, 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 we're gonna do this. This is what we're going to do. Yo, he might be the main menace to society along in whatever that's there on that planet.
I'm
That's,
just
what I'm
saying,
saying,
man. Like,
that's calling to him. And then, like she said, why is Thrawn in such a damn hurry to get the hell? Like, granted, of course, he's been there about so let's say it's been about 13, 14 years,
yeah,
because since the
yeah.
end since the end of Rebels or whatever, that he's been on that planet, because of, yeah, about 13 years,
Yeah,
because
because
that
we're like
that was
Mandalorian.
BBY.
We're like real time. We're like the Mandalorian, basically.
Right, yeah, because the Battle of Yavin happened, then like 3 years after the Battle of Yavin, this Empire Strikes Back, and then 6 months after that, so three, was the Return of the Jedi, and then the Mandalorian was like what, 4 years, 4 or 5 years after the
I think
if
like
that maybe,
six,
yeah, about 6 years
6 years.
after Return of the Jedi,
And then we got
and
some
then
time
too I read,
jumps.
yeah, and then I read where Grogu actually spent 2 years with Luke.
Yeah.
So even though he was with Luke for 2 years before, what I'm saying, he goes back to the Mandalorian and all the stuff in team. So it's been about 13 or
Yeah.
so years
Yeah.
that's in it. And it's just been him, Ezra, and the what I'm saying, the cavalcade of stormtroopers they have and all that's there. And I mean, I just want to know what the hell is going on that planet, bro. For real.
The planet is heavy in the force. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even understand. It's just they this is one of them episodes where, like, for me, my initial watch was like, y'all see, this could have been condensed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they and this is what I mean. Like, this episode was a visual flex because the visuals to me really carry this episode outside of
Okay.
Baylon's skull. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, my Tony, my issue with this, what has been my issue with this
Go ahead.
series? The reveal. And the
Mm-hmm.
reveals for me fell flat because I knew Thrawn was coming.
Okay.
We had a feeling Ezra
Mm-hmm.
was coming. Seeing the Night
Mm-hmm.
Sisters was a pleasant surprise. And
Yeah,
we
that
knew we was
was.
going to a new galaxy.
Yeah,
So
and then finding out that is the home world
They found out the whole world of the Night
of the Night
Sisters. Like that
Sisters.
was cool. Yeah. Again, it just felt like we're gonna reveal y'all to death to really grab y'all attention. When the only person that was really keeping my attention was Baylon.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like that's again, visually spectacular episode. I just like I don't need no more reveals. I need to know what the heck is going on. And people be like, "Oh, you're not being patient." Okay, well, this is episode 6.
2 episodes left,
and there's some things that, like, speaking of loose threads, there's some loose threads that have not been answered. One, Ahsoka and Sabine's relationship. 2, why this thing has been calling out to him. 3, what is Thrawn's actual plan? We probably not gonna know that until the movie. You know what I'm saying? There's a go ahead.
And then on top of that, with Thrawn, like I said, people really have forgotten how, not necessarily sadistic, but how smart this dude is. Because he has that conversation with Morgan Elsworth, and she's just sitting there talking to him, and he's just like, "Look here." He was like, "I'm not worried about whether or not Ezra Miller lives or dies or whatever, or because they said, because Enoch comes back and says, hey, they've made contact at one spot that Sabine was at, whatever, because that's when Sabine took out those raiders or whatnot." And he was like, "Oh yeah, just send couple of troops out there." And she was like, "Don't you think you should send more reinforcements?" He's like, "Listen, I don't care about whether or not Ezra Miller lives or dies, or even Sabine lives or dies." He was like, "Listen, our main objective is to get the hell off this planet and get back to where we're from." And he said, "Oh, that even goes for your mercenaries as well." He don't care. He has his objective of what he wants to do. But then what happens at the end? The night he's like, he says, I hear that y'all summoned me. Like, yo, what's good? To the Night Sisters. And they're like, "Hey, we sense another coming, a Jedi." And you saw his face. He was like, "That's troubling." Like what what are we doing here? And then he kind of like surmises, "Is this Ahsoka?"
Morgan was like, "Oh, nah, it can't be. It can't be Ahsoka."
My boy, he handled that. He said he killed him and everything. He was like, and then he looked at him and was like, "Yet he used to be a Jedi." And then he was like, he said, "Yeah, he used to be a Jedi." And just look, and you saw the defeat in her face, like, "Oh yeah, dang." And so what does this man do? This man goes into full-blown Thrawn mode. "I want everything about her, who her master." He said, "I want everything," because you got to remember, he never had any interaction with her on the show.
None.
On the show. And I think he only knows of her through kind of like, I guess,
just hearsay
and stuff. He says, "I want to know everything about her, where she comes from, this, and I want to know every single thing." And then he was like, "If you see any space whales jump out of hyperspace," he says, "use prejudice." Okay, like he told, he ain't say use extreme, but he might as well have been like, use extreme prejudice. He told them, "Hey, as soon as they things jump out, hey, shoot them things down or whatever." And then he goes to the Night Sister, and the episode ends with this line right here: "I'm going to need some." He says, I hate to bother y'all a little bit, but I'm gonna need a little bit more of that dark magic." What the hell is he doing with the dark magic?
That's what I'm saying. And
bro,
and they was like, "Oh, say less." Like, of course.
Yeah, right. Okay, we got you, Big Papa Thrawn. You know what I'm saying? We got you.
What you thought we was going to do? Use our hands?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So this episode, like I said, this episode was good. I think the only thing I didn't really like about the episode was some of the Sabine stuff. Like it was slightly annoying with, you know what I'm saying, her, and then her trying to have a relationship with the wolf. And then too, how what she did with Ezra was trash to me. I'm sorry, that's 100% trash. This man been stuck on this planet for God knows 13 years at the most that we can think of right there. And he's like, hey, what's going on? How did y'all get here? And then that wolf thing, he was like, yo, how the hell you train? Where'd you get this from? Because he knows where those things come from. He's like, yo, how the hell you get this? You trained this?
Them Jones is called hounds, right?
Hounds or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And he's asking all these questions. And then she's just like, oh, yeah. And she's like, look, can I just enjoy having you? You can enjoy having me with it. And then he's like, I can't wait to go home. And she's like, yeah.
Yo, Sabine was like, Sabine was really like, hey, I really want to get some booty first. Then I'm gonna tell you all the bad things that I did. I don't want to mess the mood up.
She's like, I'm about to give you that Becky, but I want to make.
I don't want to mess. I don't want. Hey, what I'm not going to do is mess up the mood. You know what I'm saying? We see. Yeah. She saw Thirst Trap. Ezra was like, oh my god, yo.
Hey, as a guy, you saw what she did when she saw after she saw. She did the rub on his arm, like
yes, he saw this.
Yeah, she did the rub on his arm, like hey. I was waiting for her to go there and bit his beard and like grab and play his beard or something like that. Yo,
he was like, girl, stop playing.
Girl, stop playing. Been out here for 13 years. You the closest thing to a fine woman I done.
I've been hanging out with these fake rock crustacean things, man.
Right. I've been hanging out with these turtle rock jakes or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Hanging out with the Frogger rocks out this joint. You know
right. He talking about so he done learned the language. Whatever. She was like, what? Yeah, we basically nomads. They move around. Or whatever. And they just moved around. Yeah, man.
God. Oh man, yo, that was the episode, man. Like 7. I can't wait till next week. See what happened. And that's it, man. We'll be back. If something pop off, we may hop on here. I don't know, but either way, man, for sure, for sure. Next Wednesday, 7 p.m. We will see you all. Maybe another hang with the Joneses. I don't know. But thanks for coming back to that pod as well, as always. But yeah. Until the next.
By the way, y'all, we did a live hit. There's nothing wrong with me. I do not have a list. I don't know what happened on that live we did. My man Rashad called me, was like, hey bro, are you okay? He was like concerned. I was like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, okay, yeah, you don't have what I heard. Man, you bite your tongue or something? And I went back to listen to it. I was like, what you talking about? And I'm like, I was like, I was so pissed how I sounded up there. No, y'all, I'm fine. If anybody was running like, he sound weird. I'm cool. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, man. That's real friends for you to call and check on you when they hear stuff, man. That's why I love Rashad, man.
I love you too, man. Hey, we'll hit you up next time, man.